So last season, I gave the Indiana Fever team a nickname, and that nickname was the CMB. And that was based off the classic film New Jack City, of course, Cash Money Brothers. And their tagline was CMB, we all we got. Of course, until they all turned on each other at the end of the film. Hopefully, we don't ever have to worry about that happening for the Indiana Fever, but it was a true demonstration of the CMB, we all we got mindset tonight with Clark, Mitchell, Boston. That's, where it stems from. On a night where Caitlin Clark did not have it going at all, once again, she was lifted up by Aliyah Boston, who had the best game of her career with 31 points. And then Kelsey Mitchell, who finally caught fire, I feel like, and tapped into a little bit of the Kelsey Mitchell that we saw last year, where she just seemed completely unguardable. She had the extra pep in her step, attacking. She was hitting threes. The jumper had not been falling going into the game. I believe she was shooting only 28% for the season. Lexi Hull stepped up big too, as the fourth member of that group. They came into this game with a lot kind of on their mind, I would imagine, with the story about DeWanna Bonner breaking to the public. This was, kind of a spotlight and a must-have game. Came in, lost those games to the Valkyries and the Aces. This was really to make a statement, and the Seattle Storm at first looked like a very worthy opponent. This was a tough game, and I liked a lot of the things I saw from the Indiana Fever. First, let's start with Caitlin, of course. She had a rough one. She had 6 points, I believe 9 assists, and she shot like 3 of 13 or 14, and her jump shot has completely deserted her at the moment. I don't know what's going on. It seems to just be a slump. Hopefully she'll break out of that soon. I think using these couple games to bash on her, to come up with things like she was never good, and a lot of the absurd kind of things I've seen. I think people will want to tuck those criticisms away, because just as easy as she can, look how she looked these last few games on the road, she can tap into being on fire just as quick, and then it'll be like it never happened. So I'm not too worried about Caitlin. I saw her be engaged in the game, still running the offense, still attacking, taking the challenge. And, if it was something to be concerned about, it would be me feeling like she quit out there. And I don't feel like she quit out there. So I thought the defense came to play in a way that really stifled Seattle in the second half. And as energetic as the Seattle building was, they could never really put it together, as it seemed like they would be playing great, and then they'd look up at the scoreboard and they'd be down 2 or 3. And the Fever just kept finding, the open player to take advantage, whether it was Damiris Dantas in the first half, who came off in her last game before she joins the Brazilian national team in the first half. I believe she had 12 points. And if Dantas is going to give you 12 points, it's going to be a rough night because she doesn't always do that. I thought Lexi Hull was incredible in that third quarter, just finishing at the rim, hitting threes on both baselines, running the floor, defending, and really showing why she took DeWanna Bonner's position. And I think a lot of people are going to have to reckon with that. Like, you see Lexi Hull, and it's like, well, who is Lexi Hull in comparison to DeWanna Bonner, this Hall of Famer, this legend? It's like, it's 2025, it's a new day. And, for this squad, Lexi was the right choice. And at the beginning of the year, I said Lexi Hull coming off the bench was it was like a strength, and it was like found money, because like she already has all the experience starting last year. To move her to a bench role, she's like way overpowered in that role, and then it turned out to correct itself. I thought Aliyah Boston was absolutely sensational. I don't think Nneka Ogwumike could do anything with her, and I thought Nneka had a good game herself, but she was just too small for AB, and Ezi Magabor couldn't really do much with her. And I feel like I saw a wide range of Aliyah Boston's skills, pretty much everything but the three she put on display, and she really showed her improved finishing ability this year as compared to last year when she started. The ball wasn't coming off her hands correctly, it seemed like, and this was like, she had the soft touch, she had the aggression, and she was always in the right place at the right time. So kudos to Aliyah Boston for leading the team through. And then Kelsey Mitchell, let's talk about her again, man. Like, Kelsey Mitchell has a burst and an explosion I think that not many people in the league have. And when she taps into it, she's unguardable. Are there going to be games where the jump shot comes up a little short? Yes. Are there going to be games where she seems a little erratic? Yes. But I maintain Kelsey Mitchell is always the wild card because she is unconscious. And when she gets going, you just got to get out her way. And I think she's an awesome player. And this was the first real time that I felt like, oh, Kelsey thinks y'all are sleeping on her, so she's gotta wake up. And this is who I implored her kind of to be AB as well when Caitlin doesn't have it going. Like, I think the team needs to be able to turn to one of those two, and tonight they were. So let's take a listen to Stephanie White after the game here.
Wall game for us. But I'm so proud of you guys and the way that you respond. Kels, man. And hey, great job of recognizing the hot hand and the hot action and continuing to go to it. AB career high 31. Around the rim and your 800th career rebound. Lexi, first career double-double. Big guard! Career high 11 rebounds. Yep. Here we go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's very fulfilling to see these players kind of get their flowers from the coaching staff when they have, a great game, because Lexi Holt was like buried on the bench to start the season last year. And if you've watched that journey of, the big four, as I'll say, it's very fulfilling to see, Lexi really carve herself, a role not only in this league, but a role on this team where it seems like, yeah, man, you can try to bring a big name person in for her, but she's just going to scratch and crawl and really keep, developing. So as you can see, it was 94-86. Let's take a look at the Storm a little bit. Gabby Williams, they put a big defensive effort on Caitlin Clark tonight. Now, I don't know how particularly effective each of the individual defenders were. I think Erica Wheeler probably played the best against her, but I think a lot of that was just Caitlin missing shots. But you can never underestimate the value of athleticism and big bodies, and Gabby Williams definitely brought that there. Nneka Ogwumike had 16 and 6, but it seems like she was even more effective than that for some reason. They were of course, when you watch on League Pass, you get the home team's commentary, and they were on it about Nneka Ogwumike. They were pushing her as a first team all-W player. They were pretty much, just talking about her like she was an all-time great. There was a great interview with Skylar Diggins the other day where she basically just sang the praises of Nneka Ogwumike, talking about what she does behind the scenes, what she does for the league, and called her the most disrespected MVP in the league history. And man, she laid it on thick. So Erica Wheeler, former Indiana Fever, kind of a favorite of a lot of Fever fans. She had an awesome game. She caught fire in the fourth quarter, Holy Ghost style, and just hit, I believe, 3 3-pointers in the third quarter. Hit 5 threes in total. Blanketed Caitlin and really made it tough for her. And they, had a nice reunion before the game and as well as during it. So Skylar Diggins, there's such a contrast from what I knew her as a college player and what she is now, a 34-year-old veteran in the league. In college, it seemed like, the aesthetics were just 100%. Everything was, made up and done up. Now she's like, the hair is up in a bun, and she's aggressive. She's hit the gym. The arms are crazy, and she dropped 22 points, had 6 assists, and she was really effective as well. But they just didn't seem to be able to all play well at the same time to overcome the fever and then separate. Like, it just didn't. There's something missing with Seattle. They're a good team, but it feels like they need a little bit more. And if they would play Dominique Malunga, I think they might find that thing. But they only gave her 5 minutes. And, you know, how it goes in this league and a lot of franchises, it's very seniority based. And, you know, I think they got to allow this young player some more room to grow. Let's get back to the Fever. Lexi Hull, 15 and 11, hit 2 threes, keeps at 50% up on that percentage. She did get schemed open for a 3, which I thought was really nice. Natasha Howard, kind of a quiet game for her, not too much, only 4 points, 5 boards. But as I mentioned, Aliyah Boston, 31 and 8. 13-18 from the field. But anytime you can get that, she really reinforces herself as one of the best bigs in the league and somebody that is worthy of all those all-star votes. And it is not a Steve Francis type thing. Caitlin Clark, I think she's just got to be better. You know, there were a couple turnovers that weren't her fault that get, marked for her. But overall, the shot is just not falling. And it seemed everyone had it going except her. But I like the fact that she didn't pout. She stayed competitive. And this really flew in the face of some of my previous analysis where it felt like if Caitlin can't score, this team can't win. Now, I don't want to make this a habit or anything, but it's nice to see if Caitlin has an off night, one random night in Seattle, that, the other players can, step up. I'm not going to do the analysis of her body language and, whether her spirit is broken and all that. I'll leave that for you guys in the comments. I don't think anybody probably feels worse about her play than Caitlin does. So, watched her a lot, these last few years. And if this tells me anything, is that something huge is happening on the other side. Don't underestimate the DeWanna Bonner factor here. Like, there was a lot of quotes about her wanting to win DeWanna Bonner a championship and, feeling like you have a veteran, they're gone like that. So there's a lot, going on. And, I just want to be conscious of the fact that some of that may spill on to the court, but ultimately a few bad games isn't going to determine who you are as a player in this league. Kelsey Mitchell, sensational, plus 10, 26 points. Seemed like she had 50. Like Dantas, 10 points as well. I believe she did most of her damage in the first half. Quiet night for Sophie Cunningham. So Sophie only had 2 points. I'd like to see her jump shot come and make an appearance again because she is an energy player. And when energy players get, a couple baskets, it just spreads like wildfire. Luckily, they didn't need her too much tonight. So Bree Turner played about 8 minutes. I think this was to trying to get her, a few more minutes as Dantas is set to leave the team and the rotation is just getting really short. She's going to have to play. And if she has to play, she needs to be a lot better than she has been. Anytime we can give Michaela Timpson some minutes, I think that would also be good as well. I don't think she can be any worse than Bree Turner. So Stephanie White, what's up? As Stephanie White mentioned, those fast break points were definitely a big deal. This team needs to be on the move. They need to be playing fast. A big subject of the Indiana Fever's identity right now is figuring out how fast they're playing and diagnosing it, because what it feels like and what it may be statistically always don't line up. This team is playing the 3rd fastest pace in the league, and sometimes you just wouldn't know it. But the 17 fast break points are definitely a good example of where I think the Fever ideally want to be. And, it was really good to see the team play, with energy. All you got to do is get Caitlin Clark rolling. And, if it's me, I'm going to trust one of the best players in the league to figure it out and be herself more often than not. So we just started our membership program on the channel. Feel free to join. A lot of great perks there. So make sure you guys are liking this video, subscribed as well. This is One Lifetime. My name is Rich Latta. Peace.